Hello, welcome to Rise Real Estate. Investing, it's usually defined as spending money with the expectation of earning a profit or material return. Most Americans think of investing in terms of 401ks, Roth IRAs, mutual funds, and maybe buying some stocks. And yes, we do that too. But our approach to retirement isn't limited to just Wall Street. We believe real estate is one of the few ways people like us can realistically retire before 62, when Social Security becomes available. Now, yes, you can withdraw your contributions from a Roth IRA before 59 and a half without penalty, but to be honest, we haven't built up enough in our Roths to rely on them long term. Because we trust our ability to grow wealth through real estate more than we trust a fund manager in New York. That said, we still contribute to traditional retirement accounts for the same reason anyone invests in mutual funds: diversification. And diversification is also why we don't just flip houses. We're long-term real estate investors. In this episode, we're going to walk you through one of our recent projects, a property we purchased on Washington here in Wichita, and the renovations we made to the Laura house, which we actually had rented out for about 15 years. So we just got done with Main Street. Elena pretty much handles all that stuff as the realtor. She's at closing. She's holding a pretty nice check. Most of that check was paying us back for the investing. It was basically wound up being a very large savings account for us. And you happen to have a property that you had listed and it wasn't selling, and you told everybody on the last episode that I got mad at you because you bought a house.
So I wasn't really sure what we didn't have the next project waiting for us. We did have we needed to go to Laura and repair Laura, but we didn't have the next rehab project. So I didn't really know what to do with the money from Main Street. So I reached out to my listing that wasn't selling, and I said, give it as long as you want, sell it, for what you want. And if you don't get what you want and you're tired of waiting, here's what I'll buy it for. And so we gave them a little bit of time, and they were ready. So we bought it, and I don't think he wanted to buy Washington at first.
I didn't want to invest that much money into a property, even though we were going to own it and it was going to be paid off rental, because my plan was still to stay on track with flip 3, 4, 5, however many, and have enough money to be able to flip that fourth or fifth one and hold it and still be able to kind of have enough cash to go buy the next one. And so that's why I wasn't excited about it, but I think it was a good opportunity ultimately.
Well, it was a good time for us. We were just switching over from regular rentals to midterm rentals, which are more professional rentals, nurses, corporate people that are here for just a short time, whether they're students or, we've had some people from Music Theater Wichita stay in the house. So we were changing kind of the model, and this one fit. I mean, we didn't have to do a bunch of stuff. We need to do a few things, but we didn't have to do anything.
Well, it had been cleaned up inside. They kind of redid the kitchen. They did a little bit on the bathroom. They created kind of I don't know if they actually created that room in the garage or not, but
yeah, I think it was already there.
Yeah, we kind of had that. And so ultimately it made sense. I think what happened was they actually had a contract on another house, didn't they? And
they
so
bought one, yeah.
They had a little pressure to get rid of this one.
Yeah.
And so we knew a couple of things that needed to be done. The roof, we know that ultimately it's going to wind up needing some windows. But other than that,
it's been a great house. Like, we bought it on a Tuesday. We spent 2 days furnishing it, running all over town, trying to find the stuff. We didn't even have a couch. We weren't ready. And so we ran and got everything and then rented it out for the first time midterm on a Thursday, and it's been rented out ever since. The people that have been in there have been very clean. They take care of it. We don't have to do much in between, but it is a great opportunity for us to get in there and do the few little things we need to do. So we've redone a brick patio. We've been able to, I don't know, just really keep a better eye on it than when it maybe would have been a long-term rental where we couldn't get into it.
Well, we just recently we had a heck of a spring this year. Had some really bad winds come through. I think we hit 101 mile an hour straight line wind over here at the airport a couple weeks ago, and we had a limb fall down and actually take out the riser. So the main electric line that comes in off of the power poles. And so that kind of tore up the roof a little bit, and we knew that we had to do a roof. And so kind of pushed up our timeline a little bit, and now is the time.
Yeah.
So,
but it actually really worked out great because we had one set of people that they'd been in there almost a year, and they were moving out on a Sunday, and then we had the roofer come on Monday, and the next guy came on Tuesday, I believe Tuesday or Wednesday. So we really lucked out on timing for that. And then we have a new roof. We were able to, rent it out this whole year, and have enough money to do the roof that we knew needed done. And so it's been a great rental. We are really always close with our neighbors. So when the riser thing happened and it ripped off, the neighbor called us, and we were able to get over there pretty quickly and take care of it and get them back.
So ultimately, I'm not upset. It did knock me off of our plan, but we got that done. We got it handled. It's paid off. If it's vacant, that's terrible, but also it's not going to kill us.
Well, the nice thing about having both of those, we didn't realize when we got them, but it's been to our advantage in our later rehabs and our later purchases, because we've been able to add these to our portfolio. And so when we go to the lender, it helps us, and they don't question us when we are like, hey, we need a little bit of money for a project. They know we've got these, they're paid off, they're rented good, so it ultimately has been a really great thing to have Washington.
we got off of we're buying stuff in cash, and the next two properties were a little bit more expensive, and so we did have to go for financing, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in future episodes, but we have been able to leverage those paid off properties to our benefit as we went for loans on those next two properties. So
yeah, we finished up Washington. We bought it, we got it furnished, and then we moved over just a few blocks away. We went to our property on Laura. It was rented for 15 years, and our renter had some things happening, and we had to have a move out. But what we didn't know was that there was a lot of deferred maintenance things over 15 years that weren't happening. And so I personally really like the midterm model, because we can get in there and see, if something little needs fixed, it's something little. But if something little turns into something big over 15 years, you could have a rotten floor or bad siding or, window sills. We had all kinds of stuff. But Laura, this is technically
so we talked
the
about
second
Laura.
time we've done Laura.
We talked about Laura on the first episode because it was our technically first investment property, but it was also the first property that I lived in. And so after Elena and I moved in together, after I moved my dresser into Elena's apartment, we started renting out Laura, and it's been a rental ever since, and it's been a great property. So it was time to go back to that property and do some of like the deferred maintenance that Elena was just talking about.
We did windows. It needed windows desperately.
Yeah, and so and as with everything, we try to do things as smartly, if that's a word, as smartly as possible. So what we did was, because all the siding was the same age, obviously, but we had some siding repairs, and the old siding kind of was pretty good. We actually took kind of the old siding off the back and did some repairs around the front of the house, or other visible spots from the street, and replaced the back side of the house with some new vinyl white siding. And if it didn't match perfectly, well, then that's okay. We're still just holding on to it as a rental, and so we tried to do some repairs, and I think we started on the outside.
We did, and when you got the Laura, it had been like a flip or something, and so they had done some things, and the bathroom, they had put a surround over the bathroom window.
Right over the window.
That's right, a style that we have in the 50s where you put this bathroom window in there that just rots out. but they had actually put a surround over that. So we went in and we gutted all of that. We took the window out, the surround, and we redid all the tile, or we made it tile. And so that will be a bathroom that shouldn't have to be done for a long time.
So we did. We filled in the window on the inside and the outside. We got it covered up with new siding. And again, I think we always try to do things to kind of the higher level, maybe not absolute highest 100% best quality, but a very high level. We want to know that it's going to be a quality repair. And
we knew some things that were like that style of house didn't have insulation really in the walls. It kind of wasn't known for that. So we knew that our old renter was struggling with the cold pipes being on the outside wall. So we went in and insulated behind the cabinets and, kind of where the bathroom was. So the people that were renting now wouldn't have that issue, or maybe it'd be a little bit warmer. I don't know.
They don't care. They're not paying the water bill or
I
electric
know, right?
bill.
That's true. But I think just the new windows alone help.
New windows are nice. It's really great to do that. That's a very good project to do to a house to add a lot of value, like a new vinyl window. They're typically filled with argon gas or energy efficient rated windows, but it's hard to get good insulation in a house that's 1950 and doesn't have any
without
insulation.
Ripping the walls off.
Yeah. So we really didn't do too much to Laura other than rip off a bunch of wallpaper, and it seems like we get stuck with that everywhere.
Wallpaper, and the wallpaper had been painted over, so that made it a little harder. But
I think
did
it was
redo the kitchen,
wallpapered over, painted over, wallpapered over, painted over.
Yeah, it
seemed like there's just about 12 layers.
Yeah. We had we saved the counter or the cabinets in Laura, cleaned them up real good, and did a new countertop and got new appliances and new floor in there. But
I think you were kind of impressed with my handle fix. So the cabinets were kind of weird. They had like a weird door knocker handle in the middle of the door of the cabinet, kind of strange, and so we had to fill that hole. And the way that I did that, I don't know if I have any pictures of that, but we drilled the hole out just a little bit bigger, and I slid a dowel rod in there and glued it into place, sanded it over, stained it. I think you matched up the stain for us.
I'm like the stain master.
And you always do a really good job with matching up the stains and paints and stuff.
But, I mean, you can barely see it. I mean, like, if you really, really look, you can tell. But there was probably 24 of those stupid door knocker things, and I just didn't want them, but I didn't know what to do with them. So, and the cabinets were good. I mean, we knew that, just just to freshen up that kitchen a little bit. We did add like a new countertops, new flooring. We cleaned up the laundry room.
New oven, new stove,
Vent.
yeah, range hood.
Yeah.
A new range hood, and
Yeah,
we had to rip out a couple layers. I wound up going and renting a big tool to be able to scrape up that floor, and that was, do you remember how much that was? It was well worth it, whatever we spent, because I had it done in about 2.5 hours. I took it back, and the guy was kind of shocked to see me already.
Yeah.
So we got all that scraped up. We were kind of hopeful that there was a possibility that there would be hardwood underneath there that we could save, but we wound up not even trying to save it after getting a good look at it.
Yeah,
It was
and we just redid the hardwoods. Just really kind of a light buffing, sanding, repoly. I mean, the color was fine. We didn't stain them at all. We just really had to clean everything, and new windows was the main thing. So
yeah.
But then we did turn Laura from a full-time rental to the midterm rental. So we got these 2 midterm rentals. We didn't know what to do with them. We weren't sure how to work it. We did have a property manager for the first year, little over the first year. But we decided that they don't turn over very often. So we're able to manage that ourselves. I would like to find someone to clean it. So if anybody wants to clean, send me a message. But I think it's been great because we've been able to help a couple people too. Like my client's dad was moving here. Didn't really know if he wanted a house or, if he was going to go to some kind of assisted living, needed to get on the list. So we had him rent out Laura for a couple months, and he was very happy there. The only drawback is a little bit farther from his kids. I think he would have stayed there if not for the distance. But
Yeah. So, is there anything else specific that we're talking about with Laura? We're gonna come back next time and talk probably about Montana.
yeah, we did. We moved pretty quickly onto that. So, I think Laura's been good. I mean, there was times that we thought, do we sell Laura? Do we keep it? And I think now that we are, we've got it in the portfolio, and it's been a good thing. If the people that we buy your house cheap people quit calling me on it, that would be great. I'm not selling it.
I wish I could get some of these houses onto some do not call lists, I think, because we get a lot of that stuff. But it is what it is. Everybody's investing in real estate in their own way, and there's lots of different ways to do it, and this is how we're choosing to do it. So
no, we're super happy with, we try to deal with the things that come up at the houses. I'm very happy that they are in close proximity to each other, to be able to go do that stuff. When you were mowing last year, it was fairly easy to go from one to another. And now this year we're paying to have mowing done. So,
well, I think we did the smart thing there. We upped the rents a little bit to be able to justify to pay to have it mowed, which frees us up to apparently clean up trees. That's what we've gotten done so far.
I was like, we were supposed to be able to do other stuff, and we're just doing trees.
Well, so ultimately the whole idea for us, I think, is we want to have these properties be sufficient without us touching them, or very minimal touching them. And even if we're not making a ton of money, we want to have them. I like to have things automated. I think you're figuring that out. I like to have the bills just automatically pay. I like to have everything just figured out on its own, because that's less I have to remember. And if we can make a little bit less money but have everything taken care of, like the lawns, and even I wouldn't mind finding a property manager for the properties, but I think we're going to have to get more before we make a commitment to somebody to handle that.
Yeah.
I think we deserve to to have the burden of dealing with two little rentals that need every 3 months attention. And like you said, I think ultimately it's good for us to manage the property and keep our eyes on it and make sure that it's in the best condition it can be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. We're trying to keep these things around 20 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And we're not getting a lot of traffic yet, but we're doing these. We're trying to catch up. And what we hope is eventually that we're going to be talking about active problems that we're solving. So just to give you a quick insight to what that's going to look like, we recently closed on 4 properties in a town just south of here, and we're potentially considering building some houses on those. And then we've got a couple of lots out in a town west of here, about an hour west, and we're talking about building a house on one or both of those lots. And so we're hoping in the future that we're going to be talking about what we're actively doing, not the projects that we've worked on over the last several years.
Well, and we have things like what we're having a storage crisis. We're in a storage crisis. So we're quandering: do we get the trailer? Do we just get a building? We tried storage. We tried renting a unit. And
I absolutely hate giving my money to other people.
And we had it for almost a year, and they raised the price 3 times. And it also kind of grossed me out a little bit when I would go there and I'd see other people's units open, how gross they were. Now, I'm not saying that ours wasn't packed because we had a lot of stuff in there, but I don't know. I don't think you should keep food in a storage unit.
Yeah.
It's gross.
You never know what's behind
but I
those
think
closed doors.
we're in that quandary right now because we don't know what direction to go from here. We every time we're kind of just like trying to scale up a little bit more, and it's at a point where we're like, do we just buy a building? Do we,
Yeah, that's definitely an issue.
So we'll let you guys know what we decide.
Absolutely. Well, thanks guys for listening, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And I guess Elena broke her headphones, so we need some more subscribers so we can one day get new equipment. I think we decided after we get 500 subscribers, we're going to go ahead and get new microphones and new headphones.
Yeah.
Thank you, and have a good day.
Thanks.